Welcome back, listeners, to our Beyond the Road podcast, where we take Sunday's message further to reach our community, discipling one person at a time. Good morning, evening, and afternoon to all of our listeners. This is episode 163
Yes,
of our
it
Beyond
is.
the Road podcast.
Nate's goal is to be as unprofessional as humanly possible
There's a reason for that.
on the podcast.
Nate's crusty.
Well, I didn't say it.
You did.
The keyboard did. No, I didn't say it right now. The keyboard said
Oh, man.
it. Keyboard said it.
You know what I'm really good at doing?
Being
is
weird.
getting under Abe's skin. I am so good at that.
That is true.
No.
As the youth pastor, you would think he would be the funnest one at this table.
You think
He's like, just
Baptist Abe kicks in.
I am fun. I just am fun if we're doing what we're supposed to be doing. And if we're not, I'm not fun.
I mean, he did scream at the Chick-fil-A truck as we drove by today.
Yeah,
He did.
I screamed, "My pleasure," at the Chick-fil-A truck, out the window. I did. It's a true story. I was actually really sad. We had staff lunch, and then we drove past this as we were taking Jason Swank home, and I was really depressed we didn't go there. But
I would have known.
I ate at Chick-fil-A this weekend.
really,
Wait, where?
Columbus.
Oh, did you go to
Darn.
Claire's?
Oh no, we took the girls to Build-A-Bear for Eve's birthday
Oh, Easton?
perfect.
to Easton, and
Yeah.
then we did go to the one in Polaris though.
Oh.
We did something else in Polaris.
That's the
and
new
we stopped
one.
there and got lunch.
Mhm.
Yeah, there was like 15 cars ahead of us, and it took like 5 minutes.
Yeah,
It was
man.
awesome.
At Wendy's, that'd be about 3 business days.
Yeah, it was good.
Yep.
It was great.
True story.
You're not wrong.
I will
True
say,
story.
That is so true.
I will say, we parked.
That's so true.
We got our food and we parked so we could eat, and they had forgotten one of our sandwiches.
Oh no!
Oh.
Did you go back?
Sandwich.
Did you go back?
Yeah, I went back.
And did they give you a hard time about it?
Yeah, because you're paying like $20 for just a sandwich.
I just got the original chicken sandwich with the
Oh,
pickles
no.
or whatever, and my wife's like, "Didn't you get a sandwich?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure. Only one in the bag." And mind you, we parked as far from the
Did
building
they
as we could.
did they
so-
ask for your forgiveness and repent?
No. He was like, "Oh, sorry that happened." And he just kind of stared at me, and I'm like, "Can I get it?" "Oh yeah, sure." Okay.
Ask and you shall receive.
I guess I had to ask for it, not just
It's like
tell them I
manna
didn't
from
get it.
heaven, you
And
know?
you didn't even have to show a receipt, did you?
I did take it in, but I didn't have to show it.
Yeah. It's pretty cool how that works at a place that cares about people.
Oh, you know what? I want to do that. I'm just going to walk in one day and she'll be
No.
like, hey, I didn't get my
See,
sandwich.
then you're going to be a liar.
And then you go back in 5 minutes later with a fake mustache. I didn't get my sandwich.
Oh, geez. See, and this is why we can't have nice things. This is why the Chick-fil-A operators' food cost ratio is bad. There's people
So the
stealing.
way to do it without lying, there's a way to do it without lying.
Oh,
Okay.
intentional
Okay.
deceit.
Take a bite out of your sandwich and then walk up to the counter and be like, somebody took a bite out of this sandwich.
Oh,
Not a lie.
Somebody did.
somebody did take a bite out of
Somebody did.
You're still picking chicken out of your teeth.
Wow. Intentional deceit. Somehow not a lie.
You're so just not fun, Abe.
That's because I care about holiness, okay? And
You could tell
you
you were
guys
homeschooled.
seem like you don't. You guys seem like you don't. We're on a podcast to talk about church things, and we're out here promoting lying to the Lord's chicken. It's not cool. It's not cool, okay? It's just
Well, Popeyes is
hurtful.
better. So
I actually would disagree. I'm not big on Popeyes.
I'm
It's always
not either.
unless there's a really
I
good
like it.
Popeyes out there somewhere.
You
The
know,
one I
Jesse-
go to in Ashland always burns.
no,
up
that
my
one's
food.
terrible. That is
some
the
of
worst
us,
one.
some of us like
That is a
plastered
gas
on
station
mayo
Popeyes.
on our chicken sandwich. Some of us like delicious Chick-fil-A sauce. It's okay. It's okay. You're allowed to have
Sauce
your
is great.
Listen, you know what's also great about Chick-fil-A? Again, we go to Cane's, and our students, if I'm there with them, they'll be like, Abe, they're like, dude, I want more sauce, but I got to pay for it here. And I'm like, yeah, if we are at Chick-fil-A, wouldn't have to pay for it. It'd be free. But,
Is that true?
yes, you don't have to pay for sauce at Chick-fil-A.
That is what-
$0.
That is what's nice. He gave me 2 Chick-fil-A sauces. He just forgot the sandwich that goes with
Well,
it.
they probably give it away because the sauce isn't even that good.
They sell more of that. Oh, you know what's great about Chick-fil-A too? If you don't like their signature sauce, you could get a different sauce.
Did they have other sauces?
Yes, at Chick-fil-A.
Yeah,
Well, they have
dude.
like a
I don't go there very
Mongolian
often.
or-
Yes, bro. There's
We'll be going there every day. Here.
guys. There's
Wait a minute, I
sriracha.
know that there is,
There's
because on
sriracha,
the-
Polynesian, ranch,
Polynesian.
honey mustard, barbecue, Chick-fil-A sauce.
So when we went on Superstart and we had that,
Yeah.
I had that new sandwich and it had a different sauce.
Oh yeah, that's a seasonal sandwich. That was really fire.
It was
I
a
haven't tried it
jalapeno,
yet.
right?
Yeah.
It was like a
very good.
jalapeno ranch or something.
It was a really good. Yeah.
Yep.
I do remember that.
Man, tell you what.
And Buc-ee's is coming.
Oh, that is true. I'm going to be living.
That's going to financially destroy me.
I'm going to be living like 7 minutes away from there.
I live like 7 minutes away from there. It's on my way anywhere I go.
It's like when you texted me the other day and said, "Yo,
5
what are you doing
minutes.
over here?"
Never had it.
When I was in
We're on my side of
Madison.
town.
When I was in Madison,
I never had it.
Jesse just texted me. He's like, "What are you doing over here, man?"
I just didn't. I forgot you actually live over that way. I'm so used to seeing you in Ontario.
Yeah.
So
No,
I see
but
you down like
I'm a Mansfield guy.
in
down
Madison.
there in the
Go Tigers.
We were driving to the,
backfields of Lucas.
well, we were in Madison, but we were driving. I'm like, I think that was Abe. My wife's like, "What's he doing here?" I'm gonna text him. What are you doing
So
here?
you were texting and driving?
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Yes, I
I
was.
waited until we came to a complete stop. Put my seatbelt on, then I texted him.
Had to make sure I'm at least somewhat safe.
True.
Wow.
Gosh. Did you guys
Man.
do anything? Did you guys do anything for Easter? Easter weekend?
I smoked a tri-tip.
Oh, that's right. Did it come back to life?
Why not a
did it
dual
raise from
tip?
the
You know
dead?
what's funny is Allie's like, "Did you send Nate a picture of this? You probably should."
I didn't get one.
Yeah, I got one.
Well, it's because it was cooked perfect.
It wa-
Medium rare, warm pink in the middle, 137 degrees exactly.
so basically,
Reverse seared in butter on a cast iron skillet.
How long did you let it rest?
I smoked it for like 90 minutes, and then I pulled it out and it rested for like 15, and then it got reverse seared, and then it rested for like 15, and then I sliced it. It was great.
During the 90 minutes, were you spritzing it?
Nope, just
Wow.
I seasoned it real heavy.
Not
with-
for that length of time. You probably
No,
wouldn't
no.
spritz.
'Cause
Was
it's
it wrapped or
beef.
anything?
No, it's beef, so it cooks. It's basically like a steak. It cooks real quick.
except it was still mooing.
Nate, you know, you're entitled to your opinions. You asked the question.
Well, that's what he did. So
He's
sent,
answering it.
He sent me a picture.
And you're hating on him.
What did you say? Do you remember what you said?
I don't remember what I said.
Did he send a picture of a cow going moo?
He should have. It was almost like he said 137 degrees, and it's like, yeah, that's because he was running, and then he killed it, and the muscle was still warm from him. He says, "Oh, God is good. The Savior has risen, and meat is meant to be eaten medium rare."
You know,
That's what he sent me.
that the only reason we're eating meat is the reason Jesus had to die.
Sin.
Yeah,
Boom. Not saying we shouldn't eat meat, by the way.
true.
Just saying.
I do like me. Although my response back to him after I looked at the picture and I said, "They just may rise from the dead."
We'll bring you around one of these days. You
This
don't have to
actually,
eat charcoal briquettes every time you sit down to have a burger.
It's a hockey puck. Every time he touches it, it's just slicing
Gray.
into a
I don't know
hockey
if
puck.
this, I don't know if this is a piece of
Gray
steak or a
meat.
piece of leather.
I like.
He's got a
It
butter
can have
knife that's
some-
just like
It
sawing
can have
on it.
the color pink in it, but not like mooing pink or red.
Define mooing pink.
No.
so this is a great segue because in staff meeting today, we were trying to figure out some things to do and bring to the table for Father's Day. And the idea of meat got brought up.
Yep.
So in the comments, why don't you guys?
Well, we were talking about having dudes
Yeah.
smoke meat. We know at least one of them
Father's
that's
Day.
one.
who will smoke it for the actual men
Yeah.
of the church
I
and
would love to
the
do that.
sissy boys of the church like Nate.
Well, then make sure you got bacon and it's crispy.
I'll bring my flat top. I can
Oh.
do some bacon.
No, I'm just kidding.
Got my
Everyone
Blackstone.
everyone is not a sissy
could-
boy
I-
other than Nate, by the way. Just to specify.
I could go scoop ashes out of my fire pit and put them on a plate, and I'd be like, "Nate, crispy bacon in a burger." You'd be like, "Just how I like it." You wouldn't be able to tell the difference. It's gross, man.
Man. Well, for Easter, what I did was I had ham
Yeah, so did we.
for your bad joke.
Classic.
Yeah, we did. We had ham too.
No.
Ham and cheesy potatoes.
Oh yeah, yeah. We had ham. So
Because it was just us and
funny-
me, Liz, and the kids.
the funny thing about
That was our Easter.
Easter in like holidays, I experienced two very vastly different experiences on Z's family versus my family. So like at Z's family, Easter on Saturday, we had baked beans with ground beef in them
Oh yeah,
and
cowboy beans.
and cornbread and mac and
That
cheese,
sounds good.
and I think ham, and I'm blanking. There's a couple other things. Anyway, and chicken wings.
Of course, there's
Fried chicken wings.
There's gotta be
Fri-
chicken wings
Fried
there,
chicken
man.
wings, right? Z's dad brought like, dude, a just ginormous amount.
Were they good?
Of chicken wings. Oh yeah, of chicken wings, and they're like the small ones. So like every one of them's like a bite, right? You're like,
Flaps, old flappers.
yeah. And so like me and my brother-in-law smashed like 20 of them boys. You know, I mean our plate. You know, and what's funny too, the running joke at Z's family things is now, her mom brings me a special plate that's ginormous every time. She's like, "Here, Abe, got your plate." Because one time, like the plates were chintzy at one of our things, and I just grabbed one of the metal tins, like baking pans, and I just put my food in this, and they all were like shook. They were like,
Now he gets a turkey serving tray.
so now anytime I go to a family thing on Z's side, I get her mom hands me a special. It was like the big platter plate. She
That's
just
really
had
cool.
big platter on it, and it was funny. But
What was your other family?
oh yeah, and then
Your
my other family was like cheesy potatoes, mac and cheese,
Yeah,
green bean casserole,
Yeah.
ham, deviled eggs.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Z made the deviled eggs, very good, and Z also made a lemon bar dessert, very good.
Awesome.
And then my mom made
Huge.
huge. Yeah, and then my mom made like peanut butter sundaes. My niece was eating all the Reese's before they went on the Sundays. My mom smoked her for it, so that was really funny.
We had cornbread yesterday too.
Yeah, so my family obviously didn't have cornbread for theirs, but I had two different kinds of cornbreads for Z's sides.
Honey?
What were they?
The one was a Jiffy Mix,
Okay.
and then the other one I can't remember. It started with an M, but her mom made it in a cast iron.
So that's how I make it. I make it in a cast iron in the oven.
Yeah. So she was like really expectant to see which one I liked better. She asked me, she's like, "Which one do you like better, Abe?" I'm like, "I think the Jiffy." She's like, "Really?" And I was
That's
like,
actually what I made. Was
I was like,
Jiffy.
yeah.
The honey.
Z
Jiffy.
likes the honey. She didn't make the
Honey
honey one.
Jiffy is pretty good.
Z likes the honey one.
The only one that's better is the Dolly Parton one.
Mm-hmm. Never had that one.
They sell it at Kroger's, Walmart.
Really?
It's in a pink box. It's just like Dolly Parton's brand of cornbread, but it's like 2 boxes of Jiffy in one. So it gets super super thick when you make it.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Nice.
Yeah. The other one that she made was like this. Yeah, it was pretty thick. It was
All right.
So when
like
you
cake.
go to the South, you get jalapenos and bacon and cheese in your cornbread.
Oh yeah.
And it is awesome.
I have to do a cornbread shout out. The best cornbread I have ever had in my entire life.
Alex Black.
I've heard Alex Black makes
Amber
good cornbread.
Black.
Amber
Oh, yeah.
Black.
Amber
I knew it was
Black.
going to be one of
Don't
those.
give
too.
Alex credit. Amber.
Yeah. Yeah. So we had years ago, we used to have this annual rib cook-off at Jason's house. It was
Oh,
so
yeah.
much fun. All kinds of families from the church would come. We had a prize for the winner, the best ribs. We had like 8 people bring in their own ribs. And
Why
Amber
is this
brought
one
in a
still a thing?
side. Dude, it doesn't sound amazing? It was always like July 4th weekend, too.
Dude,
It was
that
so much
sounds great.
fun.
Father's Day. That's what we're doing.
She brought
Rib
in this
cook-off.
huge cast iron skillet of just her homemade cornbread that she did, just as a side. And it was the best cornbread you've ever had in your life. So shout out Amber Black.
Amber, if you're hearing this,
She don't listen.
Alex, I know you do.
Yep.
We need to give our opinion on this cornbread. So at any point, if you want your kids to have a good student ministry experience, I expect cornbread. That's all I'm going to say. I expect cornbread.
I will say my cornbread was one of the reasons I was an outlier in the chili cook-off because I was the only person, and I brought 2 cast irons.
It's called bribery.
One was jalapeno cornbread,
Oh,
and one
dude.
was regular honey cornbread, and people loved it. They're like, put a piece of cornbread in the bottom of my bowl and then put the chili on top. And my crock pot was gone in like a half hour. And I didn't win because there's like 60 more people that didn't get to try it
Yeah.
because everyone ate it so fast.
Wasn't it
Yeah.
Joy Howard that won?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
she brought a freaking 4-gallon bucket of
It
chili.
was good chili, though.
It was good chili. Yeah.
Yeah.
But still.
Jeez, dude.
I put a lot of. I was disappointed because I put a lot of
Jesse.
time and effort into my chili.
Jesse, would you
I had
help us-
brisket in my chili?
Would you help us promo another chili cook-off as a student ministry fundraiser?
Sure. Yeah.
Do it as a rib cook-off, man.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, that'd be good.
We could do a
Dude.
fall fundraiser for students.
Yeah, because you do it where you do chili, everyone brings chili, and then everyone votes with money. So like whoever has the most money in their thing wins.
That's a great idea. I like that.
Ooh.
Yeah, dude. Oh, dude, I'd be throwing dollars in Jesse's just randomly to bid it up. Just be like,
It's a good
My
idea.
wife was
Good
not
idea.
pleased with me because I'm pretty competitive, and church chili cook-off is, it used to be football and
Yeah.
weightlifting, and now I'm at an age where it's church's chili cook-off. So I get competitive where I can. And
It was
put-
lifting, then it's church
it's-
softball.
and now
So
it's church
it's like-
Now
chili.
it's church chili.
and I had like $80 in this pot of chili because I put brisket in it, ground brisket.
Holy cow.
Like I had smoked a chuck roast and diced it up and put it in it.
I'm
And
sad I
and
didn't
got-
get any of
and
this
I got
chili.
second place.
Second place.
Well, that just let it be known. Bigger crock pots. Maybe there needs to be like a minimum. You need to bring in a minimum of this much chili so that more people can taste it.
That's
make
what it
fair.
was. I mean, mine was like a half full crock pot. I should have.
You spent $80 on like this.
How much of the taste testing did you do before you got
I
there?
did. I took like one spoonful, and
You know what
I
I'm-
gave Allie a tiny bowl, and she's like, "It's the best chili you've ever made." And I'm like, "I'm in there."
You know what I'm doing next chili?
And somebody bought like
second
30
place.
cans of Wendy's chili and dumped it in a crock pot.
That's
and
what
beat
I'm
me.
doing. That's what I'm doing. At the chili kickoff, I'm buying a
was really
ginormous
good.
tub of Wendy's chili, and I'm putting it in a crock pot and bringing
Somebody
it to
I
win.
talked to said they did that and they won. Like with what they bought a tub of Wendy's. They
That
went
is
through Wendy's and bought a
amazing.
tub of it.
That's amazing.
not even
I
that
think you know
good.
who. I think it was Ben Hart.
Of course, it would be Ben.
It would
I think,
honestly.
Val, I think Val was telling me that he did that and he like won his chili cook off when he did it.
He
Why
totally
is
would do
Ben,
that.
dude? Why
That-
does it not
that guy's-
surprise me?
He's brilliant.
Ben is
He's
resourceful.
clever.
He is a resourceful dude.
He is.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, we're
Man.
almost done. Like he's done a lot to do a lot of things for us, as he's also running a business and
Well, we're helping him run the business because his guys are here so much.
yeah, I know.
You know, we're
He's-
keeping an eye
He's
on
just a
him.
part of our staff now.
Dude, he's such a good dude.
Yeah,
But-
he is.
The next step is redoing the kids' bathrooms, which we're right there. I'm just waiting to get a quote, and we should be ready to go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's gonna be good.
So, but yeah, it was good. Easter it's always interesting because like for us, it's so funny too because like we're the only one on staff outside of Marcus now, which is kind of neat. That like we're still a good ways from our family, and so I mean we're pastors and all, but like we're kind of missionary in our thinking. Like this is our family, so if we get invited places, typically we go or we go to the Henrys consistently for like maybe Thanksgiving or
Dude,
It's
sometimes
another
Easter.
good family.
Yeah.
Another
Dude,
really good
They become
family.
our adopted grandparents for our kids, and
you could have came to my Easter. That would have been fire.
in Finley.
That would have been fire.
That's our that was our second home.
That would have been sick.
Yeah. And so I mean it's so this year we're like, well, I guess it's just us. So and then afterwards I think we hung out with the Swanks that evening and things like that.
Didn't you
But
do an Easter egg hunt in the worship center?
we did.
Because it was cold.
It was cold.
Like, wasn't it cold that day?
Oh yeah, outside it was super cold.
yeah.
So we went
so
in.
you came into the worship
we
center.
did.
That was funny.
Yeah, the kids had fun.
So what symbolic meaning do the eggs have when it comes to the resurrection?
Oh no.
Well, according to the Eastern philosopher Jesse Bluest,
Trust him. He's got a nice big red beard. Trustworthy.
if you can get the Easter bunny right before, it gets too old, you get the best eggs, and then you make sure you get a good dinner with it afterwards. And
Let me guess. When you go to a restaurant and they're like, "How do you want your eggs?" You're like, "Crispy."
What you should have said,
over easy.
what you should have said is the reason why we hide eggs in all that, that Easter grass.
Yeah.
Is because the old fable is there is an old Viking warrior named Jessai Blust that would get crumbs of food in this massive beard of his,
Blust.
and his children would take turns pulling the part and getting the crumbs out of the beard.
It's really disturbing.
Oh shoot. Yeah. What's funny to me is to kind of transition to Easter and the message and stuff. But that was
Good luck.
I know. It is funny. I think see, I'm not old. I'm almost 42.
Well.
And so like I am to Abe. But I think the Easter is it's a love-hate relationship, I think, for pastors in general who've been doing this for a while. Because on the one hand, it's like, oh, it's Easter, it's cool. I mean, we ultimately always want to say like it's this, we're here because of Jesus, and then on the other hand, you're like, that's what we should be doing every Sunday.
I said that on this day.
You know, yeah. And so I think that's the struggle I have, is that we've made the holiday the climax of Christianity, when the whole reason we worship every Sunday is because he rose on Sunday. And this is every day, all day, you know. And so I get the importance of celebrating it once a year. Totally get that. And, you know, it's remembering, you know, like they would always celebrate the Passover and how God redeemed them from Egypt. And, you know, now it's a new thing. Jesus says, you know, this is what you used to do. Now you're going to think of it. You're going to think of me now. You're no longer going to think of Egypt. And so I just wish, I don't know. It's not a one time a year thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's every day, all day. But more specifically, every Sunday. I think I wish we would treat each Sunday like it's Easter Sunday.
Well,
that's what we should be doing.
That's what's weird, is I feel like I wasn't much different on Easter Sunday.
Yeah.
Than I am every Sunday.
Yeah.
Like, it didn't feel much different for me. I mean, I was just like, I'm excited to be here. Same way. Now, I will say the only real kind of difference, I guess, is there was a little bit of a buzz in the room, probably because it's Easter, baptisms, things like that. So there's a little bit of a buzz in the room,
which
for
I love that.
But like, it didn't feel any different, because
Well,
it's like, I'm excited.
I'm trying not to downgrade it either. Like, it's a great Sunday to celebrate.
But to your point, like, imagine if that was every Sunday.
I know.
If it was every Sunday,
If we were that excited,
Like,
Jeez,
that's
man.
what it should feel like every Sunday.
Yeah, I think that's why we've made it a religion instead of understanding. You know, and I was telling Josh over here, like, it was just, to me, that's why I really liked the message this year. And it's not because I gave it. It was just one of those, as I was praying and thinking through. I knew we were going to do John chapter 20 in general, because I've done a few of the others, but I thought I want to do it just a little different than this year. You know, when you think about Christmas, you're always thinking, how do I tell the same story and redo the story? It's the same story. And with Christmas, you have a lot more detail. You know, the resurrection is just Good Friday, Saturday, Sunday. He rose from the dead. What else are you going to do? And then the whole verse, you know, we'll talk about here in a second, but like when he was like Mary, I was like, what if I did this through her lens? And that's how that started. Like, that's how the dream, because I'm always talking, you know, I'm always trying to figure out how, you know, talking about the, I forget where it's at. It's John 7 or 10 or something like that. But I am the resurrection and life. No one comes to the Father except through me. You know, Lazarus, you know, raising from the dead, you know, always looking at those perspectives, but I never had done it from the perspective of Mary, Magdalene. And that's how Sunday happened, was thinking through John 20 from the perspective of what it meant to her. And that's how it was born. So I was actually really excited. You know, every once in a while, I don't know about how you guys get, but like every once in a while, like you write messages so much and you're kind of like, this is going to be good, or this, I don't know, this will help us to get to the next message that I want to get to, or something like that. But this was one of the few times I'm like, I'm like really enjoyed writing this one right now.
Mm-hmm.
And then I first started with going to be 5 points because I had 5 things. And then I thought, oh man, we need to make this one a separate one. So like I separated that one. And then anyways, it got to 8. The 8th point was like, you know, I should throw that one in there and then continue on. But I thought it was
funny when you're like, we're going to have an 8-point sermon today, you know? And it's like, I knew obviously, because I was there.
Goes,
I was there.
That's the thing, like, all the people that aren't normally here, you could see all of them like,
what?
They're like, dude, I knew we shouldn't have came to this church.
That's right.
It's like, dude, dang it. No, it's funny. What was hilarious is the 9 o'clock service, when you started finishing up and then the response song came up, I heard our safety team being like, hey, he's already praying, or like they're already finishing up. Josh was like, there's no way he's already done. And I told Josh, I was like, hey, there is going to be a response song and some of that. I was like, so it's like, it's going to be a little bit more time.
Yeah.
I thought it was funny.
Yeah, it was good. I really enjoyed it. My whole point was that it was going to connect.
Yeah.
Like that was what I was trying to go to, is to connect, because I really wanted the baptisms, the testimonies to kind of be the focal point, the worship to be the focal point. And my hope is that it would be good enough to maybe like, yeah, we want to come back next week for our new series. That's what I was hoping for.
Yeah.
And so,
the baptisms were awesome.
Dude, they
too.
were.
No.
Those testimonies.
Yeah, it's so good.
I enjoyed it.
That was really cool. That was really full circle for me too, because like Trinity, actually, dude, multiple. So Rachel, Kenneth is a student of ours, and that kid's been transformed, and he has
Come because of Robin's family.
impacted his mom and dad, who are not together in marriage anymore, but has impacted them both to be here.
Was he 8th grade or 9th grade?
He's 8th grade currently, I believe. Yeah. And then Trinity got baptized, which is Lexi Moon's best friend.
Mm-hmm.
And she has kind of a crazy kind of faith family thing.
Yeah.
And like really wanted to make faith her own and then talk to me about it, and was really cool. And what's wild is Lexi, after she got baptized, her targets for who she wanted to experience what she was experiencing were her cousin Braden and her best friend Trinity. And we've been praying for them since. We've been praying for them. And Braden, God got a hold of his heart and has been radically changed and baptized. And then Trinity hit me up out of the blue and shared with me that she wanted to explore baptism, and then got baptized. And then Lexi and I, full circle moment, we got to baptize Trinity together. And it's just incredible. I mean, that was cool. And then Z got to baptize Maya and all the other guys too, like Jared and so many others that were super influential.
Jared was
like
totally
impactful.
shocked to me, because I'm like, he's a pastor's kid.
Yeah. And that was like super last minute too. Like he just spur of the moment, felt like he was what he was supposed to do. And like, I don't know, it was just it was just cool. And a couple of those really full circle moments that just felt like, there's a picture of me and Lexi making the same face when Trinity's coming out of the water. And it was a goofy face, but we looked identical when she was coming out of the water, and just the excitement. And I think the thankfulness that God is doing things and using us to do that and all that. I think that's just that's a really cool thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this is a great time to plug. If you're a listener and if you're, listening to this and you're a part of this church and you've been considering baptism, don't think that you've missed out.
Yep.
Because we try and do baptisms the first Sunday of every month at both campuses. So if the Lord is talking to you and you feel like this is something that you want to do, reach out to us. You can do it on the app. There's a whole baptism form right there. You can reach out to any of us pastors here in this room. Literally would love to have that conversation with you.
Yeah. No, I do think that's cool too, though, that the message, and I mean this with care and love. Sometimes Z prides herself on the fact that our pastor beats people up. She tells people that all the time. Like literally her sister at Easter was like, Abe, the way Z makes your pastor sound just sounds like he's a jerk. And then Z's like, no, he just tells the truth. And then Z loves that. And so it's just funny. I think that the cool thing about the message on Sunday was it felt more uplifting.
Yeah.
And it felt more, I think, just hopeful.
Yeah.
And sometimes we talk about heavier stuff, or we talk about, hey, your guys aren't doing it right. You need to get right and things like that, which is good. We should do that. Moments. But it felt like we've been in a little bit of a season of that.
Yep.
And so I think that was really nice too, because it just felt like kind of like a wind of freshness that just came in.
It was still real, and it was still,
it wasn't like feel good, super, vibes.
Right. For me, my dad came, and
oh, cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, he doesn't come ever. I mean, like, unless I'm preaching, maybe he will come, just to watch. But
Yeah.
So a little backstory on that. My mom, Allie, and I got married in 2018 in February, and my mom died in October of that year. And him and my mom were going to church with us consistently, week after week after week, for like 10 to 12 months probably. And then she passed away, and he just fell off. And like he's really dealt with grief for a long time because of it. I think kind of like hopelessness a little bit.
For sure.
I mean, they were married for 38 years, and he's like, I don't know what I'm gonna do without her, kind of one of those things. And you were talking at the end of the message about like, maybe you've lost somebody, or maybe,
grief.
but like this is not the end. Like,
Yeah.
and like I could see like he's super old school, kind of just stonewall, like
Stoic.
man's man,
Yeah.
and he's sitting over there like just enamored with the message.
Yeah.
And I'm like, is this something's soaking into him right now?
That's so good.
So it was good to see that, because I had not seen that in him in like 8 years.
Yeah.
So that was cool to see.
Yeah, I got a lot of. I just think that I think the hard part is separating yourself from the idea of Christianity as a religion and actually seeing that as a relationship. Like I think we just miss that. Well, like when you get into the rut, or you get in like, well, it's I've been in the church for years, even if I haven't been in the church for years, but I know the stories, or I know religion, or whatever it is. I know God, blah, 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 blah. You just get into this rut that you see for what it is. And yet, like, the story of the resurrection began in a way that if you're trying to disprove Christianity, would be hard to disprove, because it doesn't begin with like, yeah, we made sure that he rose from the dead. Like they really weren't looking for a resurrected Jesus.
Yeah.
Like they were. It's so funny. I can't believe I'm quoting this, but I'll never forget it. It's like how Andy Stanley would say, nobody was expecting nobody. Like nobody expecting no space body.
Yeah.
Oh.
And that's the reality. Like she went to the tomb to do what a Jew was going to do. Like they didn't have time to properly to prepare his body for the decomposing process, because it takes like a year later, when the person dies, a year later they would go back into the tomb, gather the bones, and then put them in an ossuary box, and then they'd write the names on it, son of so-and-so or daughter of so-and-so. That's what would go on the ossuary box. So when she went back on Sunday morning, she was going back to prepare his body for that process.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what's so fascinating.
Standard practice.
The standard practice. So when she gets there and she sees this, like she isn't like we all think, oh, he's risen from the. There was no thought. Nobody thought that. Like that's why they went back. It actually talks about how the disciples, some of them went back to just doing what they already did, fishing.
Business as usual.
Business as usual. Now they're just hopeless. So they go back to this moment. Mary's broken. She's like, they're going to the tomb to do normal things, and then all of a sudden, why is the stone rolled away?
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I said that like they were forced, Mary and the disciples were forced to deal with something they couldn't explain. Like that was the significance of that moment. Because the resurrection, again, if the story was fabricated or made up, number one, Mary wouldn't have been the first one there. And number two, they would have had a party ready to go for Sunday morning, like, cue the sunrise. 3, 2, 1, Jesus. Like if it was all fabricated, it would have been that. But it wasn't. Like they were totally hopeless. And then out of the blue, something happens. And that's why I like the part where that, that she ran back to get John and Peter, and they take off for the tomb, and they get there, and it says that he saw and believed. So So this believing happened because of something they're seeing in the moment, and
Or not seeing.
yeah. Or it's like we're in the
Lack
world,
of.
yeah. And then it says, "For until then they still hadn't understood the scriptures that said Jesus must rise from the dead." Now the funny part is that where do you go find that at, right? Because where does it say that Jesus rose from the dead in the Old Testament? Well, it talks about this is where you got to dig deeper into the scriptures of the Old Testament. That on the third day, there's all these third day references of resurrections, but different kinds of resurrections, right? Abraham and Isaac. That when he was being laid on the altar, that was the third day of Abraham and Isaac's journey. And then God gave him a ram. At the story of Esther and Mordecai, saving the nation of Israel from Haman. And she fasted for 3 days, or on the third day, she goes before the king, and the king says, "You're right, we're not doing this." There's all these stories that references a resurrected type mentality. Isaiah and Ezekiel, and you just keep going.
Mm-hmm.
So,
there's even foreshadowing in the New Testament when Christ raises Lazarus.
yes,
I mean, don't you think that would have been at least a thought in the disciples' mind?
Well, he
It's
also said it.
yeah.
said,
He also said it too.
Destroy this temple, and I will raise it
And
up
then
in
on the
3
third
days.
day, in 3 days, I'll raise it. And then on the day of his death, there was resurrection.
yeah.
So, and that's in the account according to Matthew. And so you have this picture. And what I love about the idea of the resurrection is that the reason I wrote that is that because belief came before understanding. And I think that's an issue for many Americans or people in the West. Does that make sense? Because there are so many people, I don't know what your experience is or people but there are so many people that struggle to say yes to Jesus until all the eggs are hatched. Until they like, I need to know for sure as a shadow of a doubt, So I am not saying yes to Jesus until I see this, and this. And I think that's going to be the downfall for so many people.
Well, at that point, you're trying to make it basically contractual, and you're putting guidelines in place for that belief.
Sure.
And then
Sure.
what's it built on after that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all this stuff's been proven, but if he doesn't do this now, then I still can't believe in it.
Yeah.
Or if this doesn't happen in my life, it's just then it's contractual, and there's no faith. You're waiting for the next thing to happen that you're expecting, and
Mm-hmm. And here, can I say this though? Let's not be dumb either. It's not blind faith either. We're not asking you to believe in something that's like, well, no, you just got to believe in it.
Well, I always say there isn't proof, but there's reasonable evidence.
Yeah.
Right. Because people are like, well, we want proof. It's like, well, what are you actually asking for?
Yeah.
Right. Because we don't keep that same energy with anything from that time period. We don't ask for some kind of proof that we know can't be provided about George Washington. We don't ask for proof like that because we're realistic.
Yeah.
We're realistic to say,
well, we trust the documents and the people who wrote that
Right.
stuff down that happened.
yeah, we're like, we know that this is how they kept record. So we trust this
Yeah.
and we have reasonable reason to believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same thing.
There is an expectation from Christ, though, that we do have faith.
Oh, for sure.
Oh,
it's
for
not
sure.
like it's like,
You know what I'm saying, though? It's like sometimes believing in miracles, that's the faith that he's talking about. There won't be a perfect explanation for everything. He doesn't give it all to us. That's why he spoke to the disciples and everybody in so many parables, right? He's not just going to feed them everything. Now, we do see a few times.
sorry.
Yeah.
It's okay. We do see a few times where he does say, this is what that parable means, and
Yeah.
he lays it out for them.
Yeah.
But there's a faith element that is necessary in your relationship with Christ.
Yeah. There is, and that faith component, the reason, what is the word faith again? It's belief plus trust. That's what faith is. So it's an action based on our trusting in our Savior.
you said something. I don't mean to derail this thing too much, but you said something one time, and I've heard more people bring it back up because it was such a good visual for them, and it's when you use that chair.
Yes.
So many
The chair
people talk about
illustration.
that still, and they're like, That is the perfect example.
Yeah,
Like that is absolutely perfect for explaining that.
that's right.
Can you explain that one again? I'm not remembering that.
Yeah, so the chair represents faith, right? And we can say like, oh, I have faith. I have faith in this chair. That's great. But that chair isn't doing anything, right? And so the idea is, if I have faith in this chair, what am I going to do then? Well, I'm going to sit in the chair. And I'm going to trust that it's going to hold me.
Mm-hmm.
But if I don't sit in the chair, I don't really have faith in the chair unless I sit in the chair. So that's what faith is. Faith isn't just something that you're given. Faith is the action of taking the step and doing what you believe in.
And to your point, you were like, nobody walks up to a chair and they're like, look at this thing, check the legs out, and make sure, maybe ease my way into it. No, people plop down in chairs all the time like it's nothing.
Yeah, that's right. It's like, I just want to make sure it's steady, and I touch it. I'm like, oh, I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know.
Well, if you're a guy of my stature,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you do check the integrity of the chair. But
if it's one of those like weak foldable ones and things like that.
Yeah, sometimes you ease into it just to make sure.
The white solid plastic one that's been on your grandpa's porch for 60 years.
In the
it's all
sun.
dry rotted in the sun.
Yeah, the plastic just crunches as you sit on it. You're like,
All the legs are kind of.
it's not going to work, dude.
I tell you though, like the idea is that so many of us believe so many things before we understand it. And so the question is why do we treat faith differently, right? Like you believe in your teacher at school who teaches you a subject without actually knowing. What if they're wrong? It doesn't matter. You're not asking that question. You're trusting the process of your school and your parents that these teachers know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Right? And so but as you get older, you start challenging or you start doing the things you've been taught, or you begin to dig into yourself as you begin to understand things like that. That's okay. That's the point. But more times than not, when it comes to faith, we're just like, well, I can't see, taste, touch, hear, smell it. So, yeah, I don't know. Well, again, you believe in George Washington. Well, you weren't there. You didn't see, taste, touch, hear, smell. Well, it was in a textbook. So is this. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, but it was taught at school. Well, so was that until we pulled it out. It's so like,
yeah.
What's the difference?
That's what I always find interesting. I remember looking back like into world history when I was in 10th grade maybe. And there's, a whole section on Hitler, and there's a whole section on Napoleon, and a whole section on this guy and that guy and Stalin. And there's like half of a sentence like, Jesus. And then it moves on, and I'm like, interesting.
Yeah. Why is that? And he's like the central figure to pretty much world history.
My dad always says like he literally shifted how we looked at time. Like AD and 100%. Now, if you ask certain people, they've changed the language to be not.
There would be no United States of America if there was no Jesus. Think of it that way.
Well, there'd be a lot of things, to be totally honest with you.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
That's just a reality.
It was a movement of getting the gospel to the world. And that was also infiltrating in countries and creating societies that had Jesus at the forefront. I mean, the whole point of the Church of England. The Church of England is older than the Protestant Reformation in a sense. Why was that? Because they wanted to get away from the Pope. Now, granted, the king wanted the power just like the Pope had the power in England. But at the end of the day, it was still one of the reasons why they got away from Rome.
So to your point, we wouldn't probably have any Islam had it not
we
been,
wouldn't have Islam.
Good or bad. It's
good
still,
or bad. Yeah, and it's like, and because these Jewish Christian apologists, evangelists, are traveling in the known area talking about the good news of Jesus, but using the story of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And that's when Muhammad heard the story and said, oh, we're the people that came from Ishmael. That's how that story all began. And if you read at the very beginning of his ministry life, whatever it was very much like these are our brothers and our sisters. We're together, but then got popular, got powerful, and now it's known as Islam today based on that moment and that idea. But if there was no Christianity, Islam wouldn't have been born. And so good or bad, right? But I don't know. I just think it's funny, which again, to me, go back to the story of the resurrection though. In the story, it's like the everything that the whole Sunday hinged on was, dear woman, why are you crying? And then he says, who are you looking for?
Mm.
And so in that moment, I mean, she's broken. He asked her the question, and all he said was Mary. I built the whole message on that idea, Mary. And I think that's the point of, like, when we get to the idea of Christianity as a religion, we miss the significance of the relationship aspect of what Jesus was doing. He was not just coming to free us from sin. The whole point of what he was doing, it was to bring us back to the Father. The whole point was to get us back to Eden, to reunite us with the one who created us from the very beginning.
I mean, that's the gospel, is realizing that we were made to be with him. Sin separated us from him. And
That's right.
Jesus returned us to have the ability to be with him.
Yes.
Like, that's literally the entire point of the gospel. It's a whole story gospel, right? It's like,
Yep.
that's the truth. Like, yes, he did come for sin, but the reason he came for sin is because it's broken relationship.
Yes.
We were always intended to be with him. We messed it up. He made it right, and he's giving you an opportunity to have reconnection with him and to be forgiven of the sin in your life.
Yeah.
That's literally
That's
the simplest gospel there is. I mean, that is the gospel.
That's why I love that moment. I mean, I don't know if I'll ever forget this. Like, whenever I think of the resurrection story, I'm always going to think of that now. Mary. But like, I substitute Mary though for everyone. Like, my name's in there, like, because it's like, we're all there. We're all there with her. We're all there as a representation of our brokenness and our sin. Why are you crying? Because because of what I did, what we saw, what we experienced, the hurt, the pain, the suffering of this world. And then he calls us by name.
Yeah. And he did that throughout the New Testament, because that's just another story of humanity's, I'm going to say, lack of faith in that moment, where Jesus checks him on that.
Yeah.
That's why Peter sank in the water, right? That's why Thomas had to see his wounds. It's just all of these things, time and time and time again, of humanity giving into, the laws of this world over the faith of their Savior.
I think it's beautiful.
Well, and she was going there too, right? Like, again, she's crying. She's in grief. She wasn't going there expectant.
Well, what she was expecting of was to see a mangled, bloody corpse of someone that she loved.
Yeah, she wasn't going there expectant to see Jesus and be like, oh my goodness.
She's probably dreading it a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it was horrible. It wasn't something. And then he's like, why are you crying? And she's like, and then he's like, Mary. And then she's like, wait a second.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Well, her story is so profound anyway, because I can't help but when I think about her, thinking about that scene from The Chosen when she first interacts with Jesus.
Episode 1.
Yeah. Like that is ingrained in my mind, dude. Like, it wrecked me when I watched that for the first time. And every time I think of her, that's all I think about. So like, she had I don't want to say a different connection, but like, her life was radically changed the first time she met him.
Yep.
And you can only imagine then, like, going to his tomb and expecting, to your point, just to see him laying there bloody and mangled, like how much pain would be inside of her because of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Almost like wincing as she walked in, like not wanting to
it almost gives you like an understanding of why she wouldn't recognize him at first.
Well, it's because she wasn't expecting
She
it.
wasn't expecting him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
why
would she have assumed that it was him when he was different?
Yeah.
And she's not expecting a different Jesus. She's expecting a jacked up Jesus.
Yeah.
Right. However, she also Magdalene wasn't at the crucifixion, was she? Or was she?
I think she was.
Was it Magdalene that was?
And his mom.
I know his mom was.
I know it was mom. I think it was Magdalene, and then
there's another Mary that was there.
Yeah, I'm just trying to make sure I don't say that out of turn. But It is interesting too, though, that she would have, witnessed. I'm looking this up just to make sure I'm not speaking out of turn.
Makes me think of this song, right?
The Gospels
Every-
present evidence that she was.
I call you Jesus.
Yeah.
I call you.
No. Okay. So it is really interesting too, though, because none of the disciples were there outside of, which disciple? Was
Peter
it?
and John.
Peter and John. Yeah. So Peter and John, and then Mary.
Every time.
And then it's interesting that she was there. And so she knew what to expect.
Yeah.
She's at the crucifixion.
Yeah.
Saw his appearance.
She saw it.
Was expecting that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's what I was kind of getting at. I was like that's the last image of him
Yeah.
that she
That's
would
a
have in her mind.
traumatic event.
So going in, that's what she's looking for.
Yeah, she's looking for. I mean, the scripture tells us that he was so
beyond recognition.
His face, his beard was pulled from his face. I mean, you would have seen bones.
Yeah, literally guts, flesh.
Yeah.
I mean, hanging off of him. It wasn't just wow, he got some scratches.
A couple nails.
I mean, it was
hand.
his body, his innards, coming out of his
You would have
body.
seen
He
that.
wasn't just
Yeah. I mean,
beat
they
up.
basically filleted him.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's he was unrecognizable, traumatic, ingrained in your head. And you're convinced too, right? You're convinced that he's dead.
There's no reason to not be convinced.
Yeah.
Right. Because literally the Gospels say that it wasn't until after they realized he'd resurrected that all the things he said made sense.
Yeah.
All of her faith at that point was in he is dead.
Yeah, and there's no way, this is where, man, I get so frustrated with secular culture who want to just make sure that this didn't happen. There's, number one, Romans, again, perfected crucifixion, right? The Greeks created
They
it.
were 100
Romans
out of 100 on people being killed.
Nobody was escaping crucifixion.
100% success
Yeah.
rate.
Number two, there's no way, based on the riot and the amount of people who were there because of Jesus in Jerusalem. I mean, it was double the crowds. That's how massive Passover was that year. And Jesus had a great amount to do with it. And so he had a huge following because believe that he's the son of David. And so he is, to those who interpreted the scripture as if the Messiah is coming and it's not Israel, it's a person. They were there. And so the Romans knew if his body magically disappeared, there was going to be an uprising. Hence why there are Roman guards at the tomb. And it wasn't just it's not a big deal. No. It's such a big deal that if something were to happen to the body, the guards would have been killed and their families potentially would have been killed. This is a big deal.
Yeah.
Well, and then Caiaphas
the Pharisees
also told them
didn't
to
want-
lie.
Yeah. Yes, that's right.
Right? I mean, literally, it's don't tell anybody that this is what happened, right?
Yep.
Basically told them to put their life on the line
Yep.
to tell them that, oh man, it just happened while we fell asleep,
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And that lie got circulated.
It did.
Yeah.
And it's but I think we forget the honesty of historical documents, right? And so it's just.
Well, honesty, that's one of the best things. That's why I love the fact that, and I've spoke on this before, why if this was man-made and written as a lie, there's no way they would have Mary be the first one to show up there.
Zero.
There's no way.
Well, there's no reliability in that.
No. But
Because
to
her
your point,
testimony
though,
would have literally been
historical-
nothing.
No, it would mean nothing.
Yeah. Because the woman's testimony wasn't anything. Not because they're not valuable. It's just the culture of the day.
Yeah.
Women's
Yeah.
word didn't mean anything.
It's really odd to me. I think the reality, I mean, again, like what Nick said, there's an element of faith. I mean, at some point there's an element of faith.
You have to have it.
obviously. But that's literally with anything.
It's-
because if nothing's true, nothing's true.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah. And there's overwhelming evidence. I mean, the ideas of just, even from that point on, you can see all the crazy things that have happened in this world, just the miracles that have happened, even the miracles that happen still to this day that people have, cancer, diseases, things like that. And then days to live, weeks, months to live. And then, well, what happened? It wasn't medicine. It wasn't modern medicine that did it. They're healed. And you have doctors and nurses going on accounts and saying, yeah, we don't know what happened. Like literally, here's this, and then here's this. Don't know what happened. There's no way in the biological world we live in that things like this can happen. And so and that's just so many. You hear story after story after story, and we still just like, nah, that was just luck, or they didn't get it right, or chance, or whatever. And you're just like, what? Man, you really are having to. You do have to have more faith to not believe than have faith to believe.
So I have a story actually, because one of these things happened to Allie and I. When Eve was born, we had her at Worcester Hospital, and she was perfectly healthy when she was born. And middle of the night, Eve was laying in a bassinet thing between Allie and I. Allie was in the hospital bed. I was sleeping on the, cardboard couch they give you at the hospitals. So I'm laying on that, and Eve's in the little thing between us. And we'd been laying there for 2 hours. She was sleeping. Allie was sleeping. I literally get up to go to the restroom, come back out 40 seconds later, and there's 4 nurses in the room. Eve is purple. I'm like, Allie's sobbing. I'm like, what happened? She's like, she sped up and she quit breathing. So when this happened, though, mind you, I don't know what the schedule is. Every half hour or something, a nurse checks in on you. A nurse had checked in on us. That is why I was up going to the restroom, because a nurse had just come in. She's like, everything good? The baby good? I'm like, yeah, great. So I'm like, I'm awake now. Got up, used the restroom. So it was 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And another nurse was walking down the hallway that we later found out was a Christian. And she's like, I was walking by and I was just like, I feel like I need to check on them. And she's like, I walked in and saw Eve purple.
Huh.
She said, I had no reason to be in your room. I'm not your nurse. She said, something told me to come in this room and check on the baby.
That's awesome. Praise the Lord.
So they take Eve down to the NICU. She's there for 6 hours or something. Allie and I are a nervous wreck, like, what is happening to her? And she comes back. She's like, she's perfectly fine. We caught her in time.
Yeah.
And for me, for sure, but for Allie, that was like a life-changing moment for her. She's like, how could you not believe a miracle when something like that happens?
I just don't understand that. Like, there's no way. Like, there are all these examples and things that have happened, and the stories and stories and stories and stories, or the amount of people who come to Christ who are Muslim
through dreams.
Like, come on. Like, that doesn't happen. You don't have a dream, but yes, I'm going to believe now. It's just, it's amazing to me, the stories. Yes, you have to have faith, but the faith we have, the faith that we should have is nothing compared to the faith that people have to believe that God doesn't exist or that Christ didn't rise from the dead. You have to seriously convince yourself to believe something came from nothing. Like, you have to believe that. Like, that's a miracle in and of itself. That somehow all of this and the craziness of the universe that we live in, and especially just let alone the human body and our eyes and our nervous system and the blood system that we have. You have to literally believe that just all happened by millions and millions and millions of perfect chances over and over again.
And I know it's super overused, but I love the line, like, I don't have enough faith to be an atheist.
Yeah.
And believe that.
Yeah.
Like, that's so true, though.
Yeah. Right. Every time I call your name, chains break. So good.
I'm glad our communication is so fun on this.
I think to end this too, that I think that Easter I wanted to get across too, because of the story of Mary, is that Easter doesn't deny suffering, though. It just redefines the ending. Like, so he's rising from the dead and then trusting him and giving your life to him. It doesn't take away from the fact that you're going to suffer. I mean, think about this. After the resurrection, this is why you should keep coming back to church and everything else. But you keep reading the story. What happens next? We're talking just a few months later. Peter and John are inside getting whipped by Pharisees and their guards telling them to don't talk about Jesus anymore. They're getting beat up. And they're like, this is great. We're suffering for Christ. Woohoo!
Yep.
Like, you got to be kidding me. Nobody does that unless the greatest thing that's ever happened into the history of the world actually happened.
Yeah, people don't die for things that they don't believe.
Yeah.
Well, and the other argument is too, is like some people be like, well, people die for Islam all the time and it's false. Well, yeah. So people die for things that they believe are true, but they don't die for things that they know aren't.
This is correct.
So people are deceived all the time, but people don't die for things that they know isn't true.
Mm-hmm.
So like, again, they gained zero.
Nothing.
The only thing they gained
Power,
was
sex,
beat
or
up,
money. They got nothing
and
out of
death.
that.
like leaving their families, getting beat up, death, being mistreated, having to be like underground in certain things in certain areas, even happening to this day.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you're not gaining anything except you're gaining everything.
In fact, I would argue, like, if we keep going, I think that once you give your life to Jesus, you're actually going to increase the suffering of your life.
Oh, for sure. I mean, like, it's a reality.
Because you have to start denying things.
Yeah, you start
giving up things.
You start to say, no, I'm not going to be about this thing, or I'm not going to focus on this thing, or this thing's not going to have all my time, or I'm not going to care about this, or X, Y, Z.
You really start to realize just how far gone that you were, too, because then you're like, oh man, I can't do that no more. I can't do this no more. Like the Holy Spirit just starts to reveal you things.
Yeah.
But what you said, I loved, and that was exactly, so one of the baptisms that we had at 9 a.m., which that's not recorded because we're trying to post the 11, but at the 9 a.m., no, wait, Rachel was at 11. Yes. Okay. So you can watch it. So Rachel, in her video testimony, she even said, you know, because we asked him a series of questions. Not all of the questions made it to the final film. But one of the questions that we asked is like, what's your life like now? And she answered so well. And she said, I know that he's not going to fix everything in my life. I know that I'm still going to have hard times. I know that I'm still going to have questions. And she goes, but the difference is now I know I'm not alone.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that was just an awesome
That's
way.
money.
It was such a good and mature answer to sum up faith in Christ.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going through this together now. I don't just have to figure it out and say whatever.
Yep.
You know, what's crazy is the week prior to this Sunday, we had a high school guy text me and say, actually, I'll tell you exactly what he said. He texted and said, oh, I'm not logged in. Okay, of course not. Never mind. Okay, I'm just going to sum it up. Not going to worry about spending the time.
Well, we can sing the song every time.
Oh, jeez, dude.
Change.
Basically, what it was he said, Abe, I wanted to ask you a question about faith. He basically is like, I know that I believe in Christ, but I have doubts. Is that okay? And that's basically what he said. Hang on, I got it in. Let me read
You
it.
told him no, it's not okay.
He said, okay, I have a question. To surrender to Christ, do I have to believe in my heart, head, or both? Like deep down, I really do believe who he says he is, but my head still has doubts. Right? And I told him, I was like, listen, hey, let's get together and chat about this. Right? But I gave him kind of an initial response. I said, doubt's okay. You can take it to him. Right? You take the doubt to him. But if you truly want to put your faith in him and have him be the Lord of your life and to forgive you of your sin, you believe that. But if you have doubts, you just take those to him, right? You're not working through them on your own and you're not acting like they're not there, but you actually can do something with them and not just say, well, it is what it is.
Yeah, remember Thomas, which is funny that he gets the nickname Doubting Thomas. Poor guy. But he's like everybody else. And in fact, all the disciples have seen him. You know the story? Like all the disciples, but Thomas had seen him 7 days. For 7 days, Thomas has gone a whole week. So like after he rose from the dead, a whole nother week passes before Thomas gets to see him while the other disciples and Mary and them have seen him. And he's like, I won't believe unless I can put my fingers in his wounds and stuff. And then he just appears out of thin air in the room. Of course, scares him to death. and Jesus says, touch me. You know, it's like,
How amazing would it have been if Jesus said, hello there.
Man.
I'm just
with
saying.
an English accent.
Hello there.
Hello there. But yeah, I just think that the resurrection, again, we have to be careful to make it too religious. It was relational before it became a religion in a sense. And it was very personal to Mary. And it was very personal to James and John. And according even like Matthew, and that's why I love the accounts, because they're not all exactly the same, and that's what makes it valid. You know, it's like any kind of court case. You know, if you have the same story by different people, you're like, oh, they got together and said, here's the details. If you have the same story but different details, that's what makes it more valid and truthful. And so in the account of Matthew, there were it was Mary Magdalene, I think Mary, the mother of Jesus, and there was another woman, and I can't remember her name right now. But in that story, they were there. But anyways, that's what I'm trying to say, is that this is relational. It's purposeful that he came for everyone, their name. Like it's designed to redeem us back to the Father. And I think that's what we've missed. Like, so if people just show up on Easter and Christmas, you still don't get that Christianity is a relational faith. That's what it is. It's not a religious in the sense of I have to do faith. It's a very much he did all the work. He wants to be in a relationship with us type faith. And I really hope that's what people got Sunday. That was my hope. So I will say it was cool. Like we were just talking prior to service. It was 2018. So this will be our 8th year. Liz and I will be here 8 years this Memorial Day weekend. Nick was very much on the search committee to bring us here.
That's true.
Yep.
Yeah. So if you like Nate and Liz, you're welcome. If you don't like Nate and Liz,
Wow.
Well, there's
Sorry.
plenty of those too. They're no longer here usually. But I will say, I think I got the numbers, but I think the Sunday before or the Easter before, there was like 70 people on that Easter Sunday in 2018. And our first Easter Sunday, there was 255. So that was cool. I remember that first Easter Sunday here where it's like, what? There's so many people. Because, you know, we started with 50. And that was a really cool Sunday. I'll never forget that. And then this past Sunday, we had about 870 people. I mean, isn't that crazy? What God has done in like 8 years.
Yeah.
So, and just the stories, the baptisms. I mean, those will never get old for me. It's like kid in a candy store. I'm like, this is the greatest thing ever. Every time we have a baptism.
mm-hmm.
I think the coolest thing is I'd like to know like the percentage of people that just showed up because they knew of the church or something, and the amount that showed up because somebody actually invited them.
I know I would too. I was telling the staff today, like I met a number of people there that was their first Sunday because they were invited.
Yeah.
I mean, even your friends,
Yeah.
right? That you invited them.
I mean, we were talking about several people before this started, and all of them have had some kind of a touch.
Yep.
An invite of some kind.
Yep. That's what I love. Like the invitation is still the number one way. It's not Google or Facebook or social media ads or things. It really is an invitation. People will come because of an invitation.
Well, there's a safety factor there too.
Yeah.
You know, if people come, you're like, hey, I'm going to be there. Come sit with me. You know, we can do this thing together.
Yeah.
And it kind of eases the tension a little bit.
Yeah. It was funny because there's a person who's been coming to our church for a long time now. I don't know if they really like me, but it's a true story. I don't think they really do. But they still come anyways. And but what was funny is they had an old neighbor show up. Their family showed up, and he felt like he should go and sit with them because he knew them. And then he made sure they came over to talk to me, and he introduced them to me as if, like, he was doing something, but really they just showed up, like he didn't invite him or anything. So it was kind of funny because I felt like, because you felt like he was awkward in the moment because he was like, I want to introduce him to you, but I don't want to really talk to you. It was kind of one of those things. But it was really fun to watch because they were talking about how they have some friends who have been talking about Avenue, and it's like, if you ever get a chance, you should go and check it out. And they showed up on Easter Sunday. And so even again, that was an invitation by somebody who'd been coming here. And again, they hadn't been going for a while, so like, those are the stories I love to hear.
Allie and I are here because of an invitation.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm a follower of Jesus because of an invitation. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Those stories.
I started in worship ministry. I joined the worship band because somebody just said, "Oh, you play guitar? Why don't you play at the church?" Literally.
Oh yeah.
So that's kind of an invitation.
I didn't get invited. I got born into it.
This is true. Which is great.
Jesus invited me,
I
though.
love.
Hey, Josh is an invitation too. So y'all can't see Josh,
That's right.
but he's running the stuff back there.
Josh was an invitation. I do, and don't hear me. One of the things that I've always felt bad for are people who like grew up in the church and they're like, well, I don't have these crazy testimonies, because my wife is one of them. And I tell people all the time, what the greatest testimony that my kids should have is that they had a mom and dad who loved Jesus, who sacrificed, who wanted to follow Jesus. And I got to be born into that.
Yeah.
Now, I still had to make my own decision, but I had a better opportunity to make that decision because my mom and dad loved Jesus. That's the stories. That's the testimonies we should want. Not I was out in the middle of nowhere and my life was horrible for 80 years and I was caught up in all this bad stuff and when Jesus got a hold. That's great. That's your story, that God got you and redeemed you and saved your life. That's an awesome story. But the stories that we want to hear more and more of are because moms and dads are pouring in. They're sacrificing, following Jesus so that their kids will come to know Jesus, so that their grandkids will come to know Jesus, and on and on. Like, that's the story of faith.
One of my biggest prayers is that my girls don't have a crazy testimony.
Oh, my goodness, right? Like, their testimony is, Jesus found me when I was younger because mom and dad kept talking to me about him. One of the things I'm talking about now is that I'm going to be honest with you. My son, like, he's hard. He is all knowledge. Like, he knows it. I just don't think his heart gets it yet. And that's okay. He's on his own journey. Like, he gets it in his head. It's just getting it in his heart. But I pray that because mom and dad are in faith and we're in the church, that we've surrounded him with people like Abe and Adam and Brittany and you two and others that get to pour into his life. So it's not just me. Yeah. That's the point of the church when we do it right. And I'm hoping that one day that light bulb does go off in his heart. He gets in his head. He does. He gets it in his head. It's just his heart. So anyways, I know we're beating that that dead horse, but I'll just say that, like, I think the beauty of Easter is helping to understand that it's ongoing. Every Sunday is the resurrection. We celebrate the resurrection every Sunday, and it's always about an invitation. That's why we called this year the year of the invite. Just invite. And I'm not even just saying invite to the church. I'm saying invite to your home. Yeah. Invite them out to dinner. Invite them to your group. Invite them to experience Jesus in a way they've never seen or experienced Jesus, and then watch what God does.
That's one of Allie and I's favorite things to do is just find new people and just invite them. Hey, want to go out to dinner this weekend? Just talk to them.
Just talk.
Get to know them.
Yeah.
Build that relationship to your point, it all started with a relationship.
It always starts with
Yeah.
a relationship.
I think that's still true today. We can see people and, hey, let's go out to dinner, and we don't have to talk about church.
Yeah.
I just want to know who you are.
Yeah.
Let's just talk. Let
So
them
good.
know they're seen. And
Yeah.
then with that, things will transpire. But
That's right. It's good stuff.
It is.
So next week we are doing a new series called Ready or Not, Here I Come.
It doesn't have that last tagline.
I wanted to say that. And then some other people was like, that's not cool, Nate. Yeah, so
He didn't
Ready or
ask
Not.
me, so I'm glad those
I
other
didn't
people.
ask Gabe.
I'm glad those other people told him that.
Yeah, I didn't ask Gabe. But anyways, it's on Matthew 24 and 25. We're going to spend 8 weeks, but it is the end times and how Jesus talks about the end times. And actually, there's some quite significant things that we need to talk about in there. But it's the idea of he's coming, ready or not, whether you like it or not, he's coming. So if you're not ready,
We need that Forrest Frank. Jesus is coming back soon. Yeah. We need that song.
Tell Jason.
Okay, well, I wasn't thinking for worship.
go.
That's probably not a congregational worship song, but
yeah.
I was thinking, like
Maybe we
after the
just ask
message or
Forrest Frank to
intro to the
come.
message. Oh, perfect. Yeah, we could get him no
Do
problem.
it the sermon bumper.
that would be
He's
kind of cool.
coming back.
Okay, well, we'll take this offline.
Nate's bought in, man.
We'll
it's all
just-
done
oh,
now.
no.
That's a great idea.
Okay, we'll figure this out, but we can't anyway.
It's already
All right,
over. Nate
it's
likes
good.
it. It's
We'll
done.
figure it out. We'll figure it out.
All right, everybody. Well, if you want an additional recap on all of the things that happened this Easter season at Avenue, no one's even listening now because
Who is this guy?
I know, right?
If they're watching on YouTube, they're like, "Oh, what's going on?"
Josh, cut his feed. Just
I
cut
know,
him.
right? He doesn't have the power yet. Soon. But between meal packing,
him
the
off
rummage
video.
sale, Good Friday, our worship service, and then Holy Week, and then Easter Sunday. I mean, it's been a very, very busy 3.5, 4 weeks.
Yeah, it has been.
Yeah. So it's going to be nice to get back into a regular rhythm. So we'd love to see you on Sunday morning. We want to thank you guys for tuning in to today's episode. As always, sharing this with some folks this week is one of the best ways that you can support our podcast. You can find us on Apple, on Spotify, on YouTube, and our Avenue Church app. Commenting, liking, sharing. This helps get this out to more and more folks so that we
Amen.
can do...
So we can make more money.
No, so that we can disciple one person
This
at a time. Man,
the
when the shades go
seriousness-
on,
the
that guy,
seriousness of this guy.
all right. All right. Well, we want to thank you guys for tuning in again. Have a blessed week, and we'll get you next time on Beyond the Row.